Our team, for example, is going through every one of our listings and making sure to accentuate the ones that had no observable, because we can't know for sure whether or not there's damage, no observable damage from the storms. And so we're advocating that. We're advocating if a property is higher elevated, or if it's in a non-evacuation zone, or if it has a generator, or if it has impact windows. All of those things become more valuable when people are afraid of damage and the consequences of the storm. So again, those are some things I think you pay attention to as both buyers and sellers right now. If you want, and if you are a seller and you're thinking about selling and you want a cash offer, you want out quick, you got to do a short sale, any of those things, go to duncanduo.com. I want to talk next about what I think is going to happen in the different segments of the market. But I want to keep reiterating it because I'm getting a lot of questions from people saying things like, hey, what do you think is going to happen with the real estate market? That would be like asking someone what the temperature is in the United States of America today, because the real estate market is so hyper local that you can't possibly know what's going to happen, not just in a neighborhood, an area, or a city, but now in a product type. It isn't just about whether the area was flooded, it's what kind of product type are you selling. So to give you an example of the properties that I think are going to be hit the hardest, that are going to be harder to sell, where you're going to see more depreciation. I think single-story homes in low-lying areas where there was a lot of flood and where the 50% rule comes into play. Those are going to be the ones that are hit the hardest. Those are going to be the ones where you're going to see a lot more likely those homes not getting rebuilt, two-story homes going in their place. You're going to see that a lot more common. In areas where maybe the structure value is a little bit higher, you're not going to run into that as much. So I think those low-lying areas with one-story single-family homes, FEMA doesn't want those rebuilt, and I think those are the areas that are going to get hit hardest on value. Where are areas where I think the market's going to do well? But if you have a neighborhood and all the surrounding neighborhoods and those weren't hit, I think those homes are going to do better than others right now, because you're not going to have the likelihood of a short sale or a fire sale on some homes, and homes are going to hold their value a little bit better. You're also a target in some of those suburb areas that are non-coastal for the people that have expensive homes in coastal areas that have to have somewhere to move. So I think suburbs, new construction, newer homes that are built, homes that are built to higher construction standards, and areas that, let's face it, gutted homes aren't up and down the street, because people that are moving here, they want to buy a lifestyle. They don't want to buy into a neighborhood right now unless they want to get an incredible deal with your drywall at the end of your driveway. It isn't going to happen. People don't want to buy into that unless they're an investor and they're looking to capitalize and they want a deal. If you're talking about a regular homeowners want to buy in neighborhoods that look like the sunshine and rainbows Florida has been selling for decades. They want to buy into a neighborhood, gutted houses aren't out on the curb. So those are the neighborhoods that are going to do better. The ones that had least damage, the ones that are built to higher construction standards, the suburbs, and those mid-level price ranges. Okay, those mid-level price ranges, because now they have more of an audience. Okay. In other words, not just the people that are looking to move here and buy that $400,000 or $500,000 house, but now the people that have $2 and $3 million houses on the coast that got destroyed need a place to stay, and they can afford a $400,000 or $500,000. They don't want to buy another home in the danger zone that exists on the beach right now. They want to buy a home somewhere else and stay close enough that they can keep an eye on their property and then sell that property a year or two down the line. So that targeted market of the suburbs and new construction, the $500,000 price range, which is kind of our mid-level market, that market is probably one of the markets that's going to perform well. A segment of the market I think is going to perform better as well are condos. Now look, it is no secret, I talked about this before the storm. Our condo market in Pinellas County right now, and in Sarasota County, not as bad in Hillsborough, but in Sarasota and Pinellas, we have a lot more of them, is very much a buyer's market right now. 13 months supply of inventory. That's as high as I saw during some of the Great Recession days. So 13 months supply of inventory is a lot. And I think that's going to soften a little bit. Here's why. I think there are plenty of consumers out there that have money that want to stay in Tampa Bay, but they don't want to deal with another storm. Or they need a place to live in that maybe isn't quite as much maintenance, that isn't as stressful, that doesn't require them to deal with as much while they work through the damage at their core main property. So I think condos, similar to those houses out in the burbs, will do well, especially condos that are elevated and off the ground, second, third, fourth, and higher floors. I think we're going to see a little bit of an improvement in our condo market. Now, do I think our condo market is going to turn into a raving seller's market? No. I said a slight improvement. If we were seeing 13 months supply of inventory, I think that's going to improve a little bit. It's still going to be a buyer's market. We still have a lot of issues to work through in our condo market because of the milestone surveys, the increase in insurance, and the increase in HOA fees, which is going to continue. All of that is going to continue. However, a condo, you can plug in, you can move right into, you can get right right back to living. You don't have the chaos all around you. You're not seeing drywall at the end of your driveway. And you have a much lower risk and greater protection against flood or storm damage. And even if you do have storm or flood damage, it's someone else's responsibility to deal with it. So I think there are going to be segments of our population, demographically as well as financially, that say, you know what, I'm going to stop living in this single family home on the coast. I'm not going to rebuild it, or FEMA isn't going to let me rebuild it because of the FEMA 50% rule, and I'm going to move into a condo, but I want to stay in Tampa Bay. And of course, you're also going to get some people that are going to say, I'm out entirely. And we're getting some of those. We're getting calls every day from people that say, I'm fed up. I don't want to deal with this ever again. My house is flooded too many times. I want to move. And that's going to happen too.